everybody, it's Rachel with Rachel Q Stitches. It is Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021. So, last time I talked to y'all, last Tuesday, my husband was off for Mardi Gras, Monday and Tuesday, and then Tuesday at around 1:30 in the afternoon, we got a call that school was canceled for Wednesday. We still had a lot of ice on the ground. The temperatures were still below freezing, and it was pretty much not safe, you know, just the temperature in itself was not safe. So he stayed home Wednesday, and then Wednesday at around 1:30 we get another call that school was canceled Thursday because Wednesday it warmed enough that the precipitation that came down was no longer snow or ice but rain. But then we dropped below freezing again that evening, so there was no way. They wanted kids on the road, and it was just too cold. We dropped into the teens and 20s during that time, and it's not unheard of in Louisiana, but it's unheard of for the length of time that we had it. And then they called school again Friday because they didn't want to put a strain on the power grid with all of the schools suddenly opening up and trying to warm up these huge buildings, which would have just put a really strain on the power grid. So they just decided, let's just call it. It's going to warm up over the weekend, which it did. Praise Jesus, it warmed up. We are so excited about that. And so we are back to normal, I guess. It's a beautiful day. We went for walks yesterday. It was wonderful. It's back to Louisiana winter, which I can handle. So anyway, point being, I did not get much stitching done, especially this weekend. By Friday, my husband was ready to be out of the house. We went for a couple of drives. We went to visit his mom. We were able to make some trips out, you know, and just get out of the house. And I don't stitch in the car. I can't, you know, I have to have things like in front of me, laid out in front of me, and I just can't do it in the car. So I don't. So anyway, so I didn't get much stitching done, but I spent some time in the sewing room. I told my husband I love you, but you're getting on my nerves. He doesn't get on my nerves, but he watches golf, and he plays golf on his iPad, so that's what he was doing. So I came in my sewing room for a little while, and I did some finishes. So I'm kind of excited about that. I played around with a couple of patterns. So that was my week. But essentially, my husband was home all week instead of just 2 days. And normally, you know, when pre-pandemic, they would get a week off from Mardi Gras. They would. And it was kind of our spring break. They'd get a week off from Mardi Gras. We didn't have a fall break, and they would get a week off Easter. Usually the week after Easter. Growing up, it was the week before, which is Holy Week, but now it's the week after. So, there you go. So, he was home. So, what did I get stitched? Well, Wednesday was Ash Wednesday, so I started my Lent Stitch, which is Names of Jesus by Joyful Expressions, right here. And this is what I did. I got Prince of Peace done. I now see why people like pattern typography patterns. I see why people like them. It went pretty fast. I did this on Wednesday. You know, it was cold. I think I spent some time in the sewing room Wednesday too, so I didn't get, you know, probably as much done as I would have liked to. I also I changed something. I think I changed the fabric maybe. I'm not sure. I think I might have cut it wrong or something. But anyway, here it is, Prince of Peace. So that's one. I'm hoping to finish it. There aren't that many weeks in Lent. If I just do one name a day, one a week, then probably won't get a whole lot done, but I think I might move it to being a stitch that if I don't finish it, that I do during Advent. That might be, that's my plans if I don't finish it, which I doubt I will, but you know. Riolas. Riolas is done on Tuesdays because on Wednesdays is when we post our progress on Instagram. This is Feline Family. I was hoping to finish this page, but I did not. I was able to get his little head done. I got his little whiskers, the little back stitching done. And I worked on this wallpaper area right here. It's half stitches, single strand half stitches. So I just kind of worked on all these little single strand areas to try to get his little body looking more like a cat than a blob of gray. So that's what I did. So I'm hoping today to finish this little part right here and the wallpaper area and his little ear. I don't know. Tuesdays are going to be short stitching days for me because small groups start up at our church and my husband and I lead a group. And so I won't have Tuesday night stitching done. So I won't get as much done. The SAL ends in April. So I still have time, but this is what I got done on my feline family. It's starting to look like a little kitten. So there you go. And then, in case y'all thought I didn't work on it, I did work on Pandemic. Now, Pandemic I started on Thursday, and it was around this time that my husband started getting cabin fever. And so we went to visit his mom. She's about 40 minutes from us, and so it's a little trek. And so we went to visit his mom. Then we got something to eat and just kind of piddled around. So I didn't get a whole lot done on Thursday. And then Friday, that's when he just said, I am sick of being in this house. And we just went for a drive. The roads were fine. Everything was melted. It was just too cold for the schools. So I got this done. The basket. Maybe this week I can start working on these flowers. I'm hoping, but you know, progress is progress, so I'll take it as much as I can. Still using my box of floss. I was able to check off another color off my list, so that was exciting. Started a different color. You really can't tell. If you're up close and you're really observing it, you can tell that these are different colors. But, I mean, you know, if somebody says something, I'll just tell them, I planned it that way. Of course I did. But anyway, there's Pandemic. So I was hoping to be able to show you all the whole thing this week, but that didn't happen. And then I started on my weekend stitch. And this is something that, it's Rejoice. It's a free chart by, and my printer ran out of ink, Plum Street Samplers. And so this is weekend stitch, and since we're now in the Easter season, I am stitching Easter. I really don't do a whole lot of shamrocky St. Patrick's Day stuff, just because I don't. I'm not, well, I am Irish. I have Irish roots, but other than that, I'm not Irish. I always consider myself more French than anything, but, you know, Ancestry DNA has proven otherwise. So anyway, so I started it. So I did my border like I normally do. You know, this is a 20 count Aida. And when I started to do the church, I realized, you know, I probably should not be using 2 threads in this fat needle. So I had to rip out the church because it was just, it was painful. It was hard to pull the thread through. So I went ahead and I ripped the church out, and I did it with one thread, except for the outline of the church. And then I left my borders alone. They're 2 threads, but because it's not, you know, such a heavy piece, it filled in nicely. So basically the borders are going to be in 2 with 2 threads, and the inside is going to be with 1 thread. But that's how much I got done. Again, for this, I am using my thrift store floss, and I just kind of chose, you know, whatever pinks I thought were pretty. I did change the church. The church was actually 2 or 3 different colors, and I didn't understand the reasoning behind that. I kind of looked at it, and I was like, I don't know what they're supposed to be. I couldn't figure it out. So I said, you know, I'm going to do a little white church. It's what we have around here. The church that my husband went to one of the churches that he went up, Catholic churches he went to growing up, was a little white church. It's not little, but it's a white church, and it's a beautiful church. And so I just decided to make it a white church. So hoping to get the flowers done. Like I said, I didn't get much stitching done because we were gone most of the day Saturday, and then Sunday we had he had a meeting at church Sunday night, and so I was able to get most of my stitching done then when he was gone, and catching up on my FlossTube, because I like watching FlossTube on the TV, and so when he's there, I don't subject him to FlossTube videos. So this is what I got done. So, and then Mondays is when I sew on the linen and thread mystery style, and I'm finished with this February's, and so I decided to do mini M-I-N-I samplers Monday, mini sampler Monday. So I am doing La-Di-Da freebie alphabet with hair. So I started it Monday, and this is another thing that I am doing on the same fabric as the Rejoice. And luckily I learned my lesson and realized that I needed to do over one thread, but it wasn't until 3 or 4 letters in that I decided that I needed a smaller needle. Lessons you learn, things I should know. I mean, but just, I wasn't thinking. So this is what I got done on my mini sampler. I have a place in my house where I want them. It's a narrow wall. It's about 7-8 inches. It's between a bookshelf and the door frame. There's a light fixture. So I'm just going to put them right there. If they all fit, I'm going to see. I might change my mind. So this is Coffee, Tea-Dyed, Ada, 20 count. I think from Hobby Lobby. I'm almost positive. I'm not sure. But that's what this is. So, La-Di-Da, freebie alphabet with hair. So, next Monday is going to be the new release for Linen and Threads. So, I'll be working on that. And so, I'll pick this up when I finish with the new mystery stitch. So, that's what I got done. And again, this is thrift store floss that I'm using in a burgundy color. So that's my stitching. That's what I've gotten done. I did sit in my sewing room, like I said, and I was watching Michelle, Mama Loves You GB, and she did the cutest little pillow with button fringe hanging down. I thought it was precious. And when I saw her do that, my first thought was that would look cute as a wall hanging, and so I sat down. Of course, I didn't do a button fringe because I'm not that adventurous, I guess you should say. But I did sit down and I pulled out some vintage lace. I collect vintage lace from thrift stores, estate sales, mostly estate sales. I love vintage linens and vintage lace and all that kind of stuff. And so I did a little wall hanging. This is Pinker and Pumpkins, Aunt Dorothy May. Keep saying Aunt Dorothy May's Spring House. And so this is a button from Hobby Lobby, and these are just some buttons from my button jar. Rick Rack is from a sewing store somewhere, and this is some vintage lace that I had right there. And so this is what I did. And then I backed it with, and I had to fold them because I made these too long, but I'm going to put some buttons here. I backed it with a vintage pillowcase that I had in my stash. So Dorothy May's Spring Cottage is finished. It is fully finished. So I like the button. I don't know. I just, I pictured Dorothy May just wearing big costume jewelry. And I have a ton. I have my mother's and my grandmother's from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Couldn't bear to do it. But I went shopping, which I'm going to show y'all in a bit, my haul. And I went shopping at my Creative Reuse, and they had a piece that was very similar to this, but the pink was this pink. But there were about 4 or 5 stones that were missing. And I think I might still go back and get it because I loved it. It was so pretty, and I think I, might use it in another piece. But I went ahead and used this because it kind of went with it. Yeah, my husband likes it. He says, I like that. He said, are you going to make one for each season? I said, if Pinker and Pumpkin comes out with one. So I do have the winter, you know, she does have a couple of them. She needs a summer one. Hint, hint. I need a summer cottage. So there you go. I finished it. So it was good. It felt good to sew. I love to sew. And it felt good to sit down and sew. And because I make quilts, I make huge quilts. And so I never seem to have a finish. It takes forever to have a finish. So this was fun. It's a little mini quilt hanging. And then I sat down and I pulled out some of my vintage linens. And I want to make a strawberry. But before I stitch one, I want to make sure that sewing one is not as hard as it seems. So I went on to Amazon and I ordered some crushed walnut shells. And I told my husband, hey, if you get a package and it says reptile, betting I'm not getting a snake. No, it goes in my sewing room. So I cut up one of my vintage linens, and afterwards I realized my bird is upside down. And there he is like that. But he's actually, yeah, he's upside down. I can't make excuses for him. He's falling out of the sky right there. But I made one, and I used a little, some scrap felt that I had. This is just a test to see how I like it. 5 minutes. You know, I have a die, a Sizzix die from my paper crafting days that is actually flowers, and I'm gonna pull it out and just cut a bunch of different colored tops. But I like this one. I need to work on my points a little bit, but all in all, it came out cute. I'm enjoying it. So there you go, my little berry. That's what I finished. All right, so we're gonna do my haul. So I watch Niecy Lynn, and she had during Christmas a blackbird design cardinal piece that she had done, and instead of stitching the words at the bottom, she wrote remember me, because of the meaning behind cardinals. If you see a cardinal, it's supposed to be a relative, a loved one who's gone on, saying, hey, I'm still here visiting. So I ordered Blackbird Designs home for the holidays. I sold some things on eBay, and so this was my reward. I do have an eBay store. It's got some quilt fabric and books and whatnot that I'm trying to destash from my mom, but some cross stitch, but not a whole lot. So it's home for the holidays, and of course this is the one I want to do, and I will keep the French. Basically in English it says, it's the season for, I believe, much joy. I believe that's what that means. I'm not sure about that word. But my limited knowledge of French is, 'tis the season to be jolly. And of course I'll probably end up starting Christmas garden. Of course that's something I'm going to have to finish after I finish my other two, but I can only work on one big project at a time before I start getting a little overwhelmed. So, but I do want to do this, and it'll probably be something that remains up year-round, just because I think it's beautiful. And I mean, it says Christmas garden, but other than that, I don't see it. And of course, there are tons of other things in here that I want to do, but this bird. Now, I am going to say I do not use fancy floss. I use DMC and I use my thrift store. But I might treat myself to some fancy floss when I start this, because I love the look of it. But we'll see. We'll see. And I bought this. Now this, I meant to take it out, y'all. I'm sorry. This is for a special project that I'm doing for someone. And I don't know if they follow my YouTube channel. If they do, they haven't mentioned it. So I don't know. It's called I Collect, and it's got this button jar. And I am doing this as a gift, like I said, for someone special. And when I show the next part, they'll probably, if they are watching, they will figure out that it's for them. But this is my mother's button tin. And you can hear it's got buttons in it. If you follow me on Instagram, Rachel Q Stitches, you will see that I posted a picture of it. And I also posted it on Facebook. And I said it was my mom's, and I believe it was also my grandmother's. And my mom's cousin, now, see if I can explain to y'all how we're related. So Faye is my mom's second or third cousin. I'm not sure how that works. She and my mom are the same age, right around the same, in that same generation. And her mother and my grandmother, so her mother and my mom's mother, were double first cousins. My great-grandmother and great-grandfather, my great-grandfather had a brother, and my great-grandmother had a sister, and they got married. So I'm related to her double. In fact, if you're really interested in DNA and genealogy, Faye actually comes up as a second cousin to me, when actually she's not. She's more like a, I don't know, third, fourth, something removed cousin. But Faye, if you're watching, sorry. You know more about this kind of stuff than I do. But, so anyway, Faye and I are related to two, bars of our genealogy. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm going off on genealogy and y'all don't care. She told me that because my great-grandfather, my grandmother's father, passed away when he was very young. He was, I want to say maybe in his early 30s. My grandmother was 2. And so it was my grandmother and her brother and her mother. And so what happened was Alice's sister and brother-in-law, who were, Renee, Alice's husband's brother, helped out at her house, helped her out with raising her children. And so their kids grew up, my grandmother and her double first cousins grew up almost like siblings. And so Faye told me she remembers seeing this at my great-grandmother's house. So my great-grandmother, my grandmother, my mother, and me. So I am the 4th generation to own this button tin. And it is filled with buttons. Now, I don't recognize any of the buttons as being from 20s and 30s, maybe, I don't know, but I do know a lot of them were from things that, my mom had, my grandmother had. So, point being is, the person that I'm making this for is going to get buttons out of this tin, because this person and I, when we were little, played with the buttons, and this is something we did. Isn't it cute? I really should use these, but so this person is going to get this stitch. So I'm hoping to have this done. And this is going to be my next weekend stitch, is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to try to start it this weekend. So I'm going to put Rejoice down for until I can get this done, because it's important that I get this done in March. So that is that haul from 123 Stitch. And then I had on one of our little drives. It was either Thursday or Friday. I told my husband, "Can you take me to the Creative Reuse store downtown?" So he said yes, he'd take me. And so I went, and I found some stuff, some cute stuff. So I was on the hunt, like I said, for a piece of jewelry to go on that, and Dorothy May's summer house. And I found these earrings. Now, I don't know, I could actually wear these puppies. They are so cute. They're pretty. So those are going to be part of a, and then I found this. This one is gorgeous. And I know that the Winter Cottage, the Winter House by Pinker and Pumpkin has blue. See, it's broken, so I'm going to have to E6000 it. And the girl was like, "It's broken." When I told her what I was doing, she's like, "Oh, we have single earrings. You might be interested in those." But isn't this beautiful? Oh, the blue. So this is going to be reserved probably for the winter piece. I'm not sure. The Winter House. And then I picked up these single clip-on earrings. And then this one. Now this one is purple. And if Pinker and Pumpkin is listening, I think the summer house should be purple. I don't know if she's listening. Michelle, if you're, I don't know if your name's Michelle or Melissa. I am so sorry. Pinker and Pumpkin, if you're listening, wouldn't this look so cute in a purple house? Purple summer. Beautiful. And then I picked up this one because emeralds are my birthstone, and I might actually wear this one. And I picked up some buttons to cover. These were $1, which is you know, significantly less than the fabric stores. So I picked up some of these so that I could make some needle minders out of fabric. So I was in the little area where like the sewing stuff is and the cross stitch and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I really couldn't find a piece of, I mean, I found this jewelry, which I picked up, but I really couldn't find one that I really, really liked. And so I went and around to the corner and I said, I'm going to go look at the wooden stuff just for the fun of it. Now, if you do follow Michelle, Mama Loves You GB, she shows her wooden spools. And if you know me, my favorite color is red. And I rounded the corner and look what I saw. I was actually looking at a pair of these on eBay for $15, and I almost bought them, but I decided not to, and so I did not purchase. And these were marked $3 and $5, and the little girl working there says, one's marked $3 and one's marked $5. How about if I give them both to you for $5? Yes, please. So $2.50 each. This one does have a little nick out of it, but I don't care because it'll go like this. So I was on Waltz Iris Naps, I believe. She had a piece that almost the same kind of spool. She had a piece that was wrapped around it. So I'm kind of looking for something that I don't want them, you know, I don't want something stretched apart like this. I want something that'll wrap around this and something that'll wrap around this. And I think for now I may just get a piece of fabric and do it. But I love them. They're rustic, they're primitive, and they're bobbins. You know, you can't turn that away. So then he took me to Hobby Lobby afterwards, and I picked up this little pin, this button. Isn't this pretty? Yeah, Hobby Lobby's got some sweet little bling buttons if you're ever interested. They were half price last week, so, and I got these just because, I don't know, they were pretty. And I got this. I thought this was pretty. I almost used this on the cottage, but it was with the green fabric where it was. I can't see it. It kind of, I don't know. Maybe I could have used it. I don't know. But I didn't. I'll use it on something else. So that's my haul. That's what I got. I was so excited. Then I went to the Dollar Tree. So that's not my own haul. And I picked this up. It's a little blackboard, but I picked up these little magnetic sheets, and I think I'm gonna stick it there. And then that way, this isn't gonna fit. This has another plan. But I can just kind of use this to stick a little design on. I might put some decorative scrapbook paper right here and paint it, and then put that little magnet thing. And then that way, whatever I make will, you know, I don't have to sit there and, you know, exactly put the magnet exactly where it's supposed to be, because Lord knows I can't do that. So I bought this. I thought it was cute. Cute. And I bought this tray. And so this is how I'm going to finish the chickens. I'm going to paint it red with some black in it. And I'm going to recover this in some fabric and make it like one piece. And then I was originally going to do just like a ornament type thing, but I think I'm going to do this instead. I think I like this, can stand up on a little shelf and just be cute. So anyway, so that's all I got today. Nothing special to talk about. My mom and dad's anniversary is coming up. They were married in 1967. They were married 51 years before my mom passed away. And so that is Thursday. So those are always kind of some emotional days for me, because I always enjoyed celebrating mom and dad's anniversary. They had a great marriage. They were great examples of what a marriage should be. You know, just the way they treated each other, the way they treated us as kids. You know, I say I had a great childhood. I don't know what my brother says, but I think I had a great childhood. Maybe I was just a better child, so it was a better childhood. But, you know, it's just one of those days that rolls around, and it's a little emotional for me, because I can't call her and tell her happy anniversary, and then next month's her birthday, and my oldest son will be turning 23, which is kind of starting to make me feel a little bit old. So anyway, it's kind of rolling into the, this first half of the year is hard. You know, I have Mom and Dad's anniversary, Mom's birthday, Mother's Day, and then the day she died, and then 2 days later, my birthday. So these first 6 months are just kind of, and it was the 6 months that I traveled back and forth from Tennessee to Louisiana as we were moving down, and stayed with her in hospital most of the time when I was down. And I'm thankful for that, because I got to spend some really good quality time with her and talk to her, and there's still questions I wish I could ask her, and that's one of the reasons why I'm glad I have Faye. Faye is very good at answering the questions that she can, and my aunts answer the questions that she could, but Mom was very curious, so she asked my grandmother a lot of things, and so that's how, you know. So if your parents are still alive, ask questions. Anything you might be curious about. Where did this come from? You know, what do you know about the family history? I think it's important. I think it's important to keep that alive. My kids were adopted, and they're still very interested in the family history, even though genetically they're not related. They are legally, and in my heart, they are very much my children. You know, so if your family's still alive, ask questions. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask the hard questions. You know, why did this happen? Why don't y'all talk about this uncle or this aunt? Or, you know, I wish I knew how my great-grandfather died. My dad said he thinks it was cancer. I'm not sure. He was young. They were only married 5 years when he passed away. They were both married kind of late in life, and they had 2 kids, and he passed away. And so I wish I had more to know. I know a little bit. Mom told me a lot, and so I know some things, but you know, ask questions. That's my little rant today. Is, you know, listen to the stories. Listen to the stories. But anyway, I do know that I got my love of stitching from my mom and my grandmother and my great-grandmother, because Faye had given me some linens that her grandmother and my great-grandmother had made. I actually have a quilt that she believes they made together, that she gave to me. So I'm very, very grateful to Faye to giving me those things. So I know that's where I got my love of sewing. I wish I had picked up my mother's musical talent and artistic talent, but I will take love of sewing over anything. So there you go. Again, thanks for joining me. I will have a haul next week. The bad weather in Texas kind of put a slowdown on some things that I ordered. But I have made a decision about my tarts. I know what I'm going to stitch, and I'll show that hopefully next week. I'll get it in soon. It's supposed to come in the next couple of days, so hopefully that'll come in and I can show you what choice I made. And somebody else reminded me that the linen and threads Sal from last year had some round ornaments. I was like, I could have done those instead of buying a pattern, but I like the pattern I bought, and so we'll see. I can always stitch them anyway. Nothing's holding me back from stitching those. So anyway, y'all have a good day. I'm going to go on work on my Riola Sal. Hopefully get some stuff done before we have to leave for church. And I will see y'all next week. And thank y'all again for joining me. And I love comments. I feel like I'm talking to y'all. I'm home all day by myself alone. So chatting with everybody through YouTube and Facebook groups is just really special to me. I do have a Facebook page. It's called Rachel Quilts. And I don't post much. Sometimes I post stuff, but I post mainly on my Instagram page, which I'll link down below for you. Anyway, talk to me. Let me know how things are going on in your end. Did y'all get a lot of weather, snow, rain? Are you in Florida and you had 80 to sunny degrees? Just let me know. Let me know in the comments how this week went for you guys, what you're working on. If anybody's working on the same thing as me, let me know. I'd be happy to hear it. Any tips, tricks? Remind me to change my needle size when I go down to a smaller size fabric. You know, things like that. Anyway, appreciate y'all, and I will see y'all next week. Bye-bye.